Everybody, welcome. My name is Cantor Lizzie Shammash, and I'm coming to you from Philadelphia. Welcome to IJS Online Yoga Studio. It's really great to see you. It's great to be with you. It's great to be back. Thank you for the warm welcome back. For anyone who's new here, an especially warm welcome. We're so glad you found our community. It's so great to practice together. Our props today are going to be a strap and a block. So you can grab those if you're just hopping on. And while you're making your space and making some quiet for yourself, do silence any devices if you're able to do that during this time. We are going to do a little warm up for a few minutes, a little bit of teaching, and then continue our practice through about 45 minutes after the hour. And then we have time for about 15 minutes of Q&A, and that's always lively. So if you're able to stay for that, that would be great. Just one announcement today from the Institute. We have a new prayer project coming back around, and that is receiving and extending love with Rabbi Sheila Peltz-Weinberg. She is one of our founding teachers, and if you haven't had an opportunity to study with Sheila, I so highly recommend that you take advantage of her presence and her teaching, and particularly this course, which is so beautiful, addressing the Shema and its blessings around it, focusing on receiving and extending love. So it's a 30-day intensive, and Will is popping the link into the chat. So that's coming up. Please take a look. And it goes from May 29th to June 24th. So that's what we've got. Let us begin. So if you'll take a seat, it could be on the floor with some propping, or on a chair if you're comfortable in a chair. That's also good. Take a seat. Today is the 15th of ER. Maybe you saw the moon last night. We have a few days of full moon, and last night was very special. So then you know that it's the 15th of ER. It's also the 30th day of the Omer. We're in the second day of the 5th week, and the 5th week is Hod. Hod, or acceptance, surrender, non-effort, gratitude. We'll take a look at Hod in just a minute. So finding a comfortable seat, finding some evenness across your sitting bones, forward and back, right to left. See if you can ground the pelvis and let the spine rise nice and tall. Finding a sense of ease and balance in this body. Just noticing how you're doing today. If you'd like, you can take one hand to your belly, to your low belly, below your belly button, and one hand to your chest, right to the middle of your chest. And simply noticing how the inhale fills your hands, and how the exhale recedes away from your hands toward the spine. Letting the breath come and go as you land here. And asking internally, how am I right now? How am I right now? How is it in this body, in this moment? With no need to change anything, no agenda for change. Simply noticing, how am I? What sensations do you feel in the body? What's the quality of your mind and the quality of your heart? Noticing whatever there is to notice in this body. Maybe there are old injuries or new injuries, chronic aggravating pains or new aches and pains that migrate around the body, or perhaps everything feels just balanced and really easy. Whatever's there, just noticing. Breathing in and out. And then as you're ready, you can remove your hands. Let them rest back in your lap, on your thighs. Then observe the breath coming and going. With the eyes open or closed, we're going to move into a breathing practice we call sun arms. So as we inhale, the arms come out and up. And as we exhale, they come back down to the sides. And you can take this in your own time so that the arms follow an entire inhale and an entire exhale on your own breath. And be mindful of your shoulders. So if there's limitation in your shoulders, maybe you want to raise the arms in front of you, or simply bend the elbows, raise the arms just to shoulder height. Or if you have full mobility, coming all the way up. So whatever is working for you. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling the arms down. And all the breathing is through the nose. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. And keep this going for a few of your own breath cycles. See if you can soften, see if you can use as little effort as possible. Just feeling into breath meeting movement. One last cycle when you finish your next exhale. Allow the arms to come down and rest once again on the thighs. Pause. Close the eyes if you like. And notice any sensations in the body. How is it right now to be in this body? You can stay with the eyes closed and stay with your attention to the breath if you like, or open your eyes as you wish, as I share a little bit of teaching today on Hod. So remember that last week with Joanna, we looked at Netzach, and Netzach and Hod are like thesis, antithesis, right? This is the second triad that we're looking at as we count through the Omer. So if Netzach is endurance and ambition and effort and tenacity, and Netzach is connected with Moses, then Hod is its opposite. Hod is surrender, softening, it's acceptance. Hod is non-effort. Hod is also hodaya, gratitude, same root. And Hod is associated with Aaron. So Moses and Aaron, two brothers, balancing each other with their energies. So it's the energy of efforting and non-efforting, right? Of persevering and of accepting, surrendering. So today we look at Hod. And Mr. Iyengar, BKS Iyengar says, in every pose, there should be repose. And that's Hod, I think. In every pose, a sense of repose. So I want to share from our wonderful colleague, Rabbi Miriam Klotz, wrote a beautiful piece, which maybe you read yesterday when it arrived in your inbox or today, and we'll share the link at the end of class as well. I want to share a little bit of Miriam's teaching on Hod. So we're in this beautiful imagery of floating down the river of the Kabbalistic tree here. Hod invites us, Miriam says, to ride with the currents of what is happening just as it is. As the energetic complement to Netzach, Hod asks us to surrender our ideas of how things could or should change or be. Instead, we not only loosen our grip on the paddle, we're in our kayak here, but we put the paddle down. We practice being right here, right now. Can I yield my wants, desires, convictions, set them aside, and let the changing currents take me on this river of living? Can I soften around my willful efforts and simply be present to what is right now, just as it is? Can I trust that this moment, this breath, this being, this is enough and offers me fullness and aliveness just as this is? It's not always easy to yield and receive what is in all of its imperfect wholeness. It can be difficult to accept a person or situations just as they are, as part of creation's manifestation right now. Especially if the situation, relationship, or condition is unpleasant or painful, if we see an injustice, if we want to interrupt, if we see suffering that we want to alleviate, we might resist mightily the surrender or yielding to what is beyond our control. Or, conversely, if something is pleasing, going according to our hopes, we might want to hold on to that experience, that person, commodity forever. We may try to persevere at keeping a dream alive when it no longer serves. We may fear that what we have now is not enough, and we grasp at it in hopes of bringing more so that we will feel satisfied and secure. The energy of Hod invites us into the quiet grace of a surrender supple enough, that through it we can yield our opinions, loosen our attachments, acknowledge and even appreciate the ever-changing nature of our existence and our experiences. So today's practice is going to be on Hod. Asking every now and then, how is it right now? Can I be with it? Can I be with this body? Can I be with myself just as it is, just as I am? Really diving down into sensation in the moment. So let's come to standing. Take a nice, easy mountain pose. It can be with the feet together or the feet hip-width apart. Just rock a little side to side, spread your toes. Find a sort of a maximal surface area for the feet as you ground them down. Then really land those four corners of the feet, inner and outer heel. Mound of the big toe over to the mound of the little toe. Grounding those four corners of the feet, extending the crown tall toward the heavens, and letting your tailbone drop, lengthen. Widen the collarbones. Extend the fingertips down. Lengthen the back of the neck. Let it be easy. So finding all these technical points of mountain pose and then just being, dropping in. How is it right now? How am I doing? Letting the breath come and go. Notice any sensations, any feelings on the skin, any observation of the temperature of various parts of your body. How are you doing? And then from here, we're going to come into a little bit of gentle movement, just a little bit of standing, swinging side to side. You might want to widen the legs even a little further. Take the gaze with you. Take your whole torso with you. So you go side to side. It can be slow or it can be more vigorous. See what is the body requesting right now. And if you want, you can even add an out breath, which with each swing, ha, ha, ha. Either just breath through the mouth, or sound, or simply letting the breath be. Just feel the body move as the arms swing side to side. And then as you're ready, slow that down. And come to stillness. And pause here. If it's comfortable for you and safe, you can close the eyes, as long as it doesn't make you dizzy. And check in. What do you notice? Any tingling, pulsating, warmth? Those are just suggestions. You might notice one or all of those things or none of them. But simply asking once again, how is it right now in my body? Can I be with it? Can I accept and ride these sensations just as they are, just as I am, no matter what is going on, whatever's there for you? So Hod helps us develop the capacity to be with what is, to be with what's here. Take a hold of your strap. And take a nice wide and easy grip here. And do a little bit for the shoulders. Again, only if it's okay for you in your shoulders. We're going to inhale as we bring the strap up. And then exhale as it comes behind. And I'll show you from the side, inhaling as you come up. And you want it to be easy so there's no jerking of the spine. You're stable. And exhaling as you come down. So just taking it like that for a few breaths. Always inhaling on the way up and exhaling on the way down. Just finding a little bit of opening for the shoulders, the pectoral muscles. Once again, uniting movement with breath. And take it in your own time. You're inhaling on the way up and exhaling on the way down. Lightly engage your core and feel your feet pressing down as well to the earth. kind of an X across the body, the feet to the arms. You can feel that connection through center, that X, an engagement of the core. And then the next time you come down, bring the arms in just a little bit closer to each other. Let's inhale the arms up. And then we're going to exhale and take a side stretch, a side bend over to the right. And as you do that, pull your arms apart from each other. So there's sort of a lengthening of the fingertips away and also a pulling apart. That's where the strap helps. And a pressing down into the feet. So there's a lift through the midsection. Feeling that opening, that stretch in the left side of the body. And you may want to come a little forward and back too with the torso, kind of exploring here. And then press into the feet. Inhale, come up through center. It's a whole body experience. And exhale, side bending over to the left. So pressing into the feet, extending through the fingertips. Pulling the arms apart from each other. Lengthening and opening the body. And again, you can play with the placement of the torso a little bit. Draw the navel towards the spine, protect the back. Inhale up through center and exhale one more time to the right. Press into the feet, particularly the left foot. We won't stay too long this time. Inhaling up through center and one more time, exhale left. On your next inhale, come on back up through center, press through the feet. Exhale, bring the arms down. Release the strap. Shake out the hands if you like. Pause. And once again, notice how you feel. If you like, you can take a hand to the belly and a hand to the heart, 2 hands to the belly, or simply just an open mountain stance. How is it right now? Can I be with myself? So simple a practice and yet so profound. Right? Can I be with myself? Can I be with life as it pulsates through me, just as it is? That is the energy of Hod. We practice it in non-threatening, sort of easy circumstances, right? So that we can then, when the stakes get a little higher, continue to practice it. In the middle of a difficult conversation or a difficult experience, how is it right now? We can check in with the body. And we can take confidence, I can be with this. Opening the eyes if they're closed. I'm going to take a couple roll downs of the spine. So again, take a mountain stance with the feet a little bit wide. Hip width or even a little wider. Inhale here. And as you exhale, let the chin come down to the chest. We're going to support the back by drawing the belly to the spine. And as we exhale, we're going to roll down vertebra by vertebra. Keep a gentle bend on the knees, and you'll come down as much as you like. It might just be to the thighs. You might pause right there, or you may come all the way down. Wherever you are, let the head be easy. You can give it a little shake. A sighing exhale. When we get here to the bottom, breathing, let the inhale fill the whole belly, the whole pelvic bowl. And exhale, drop the jaw. Another inhale. Let the torso fill. And this time as we exhale, we're going to press through the feet, drop the tailbone, start to roll up one vertebra at a time, stacking. And you can pause anywhere along the way where you feel some sensation and you want to open into it or breathe into it. Just pause. It's all the time in the world to come up. vertebra by vertebra. Widen the shoulders, the head comes up last. Good. This time we're going to turn the head to the right, facing the right. And as we exhale, we're going to roll down to the side. So chin towards the right armpit, and we're with a little bit of a twist, rolling down the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Notice how that feels a little bit different. And again, belly to spine, protect the back. Come down a little, come down a lot. Whatever the body is calling for. And then we're going to roll up on an exhale. As you exhale, press into the feet, draw the navel to the spine, let the tailbone lengthen. And once again, stack up one vertebra at a time. Rolling up the right side of the body until you come all the way up. And then, as you might guess, we're going to go to the other side. So head to the left, over towards the left shoulder. Inhale here. Exhale, chin to chest. So chin is coming towards the left armpit. And we roll down. So you'll feel it maybe a lot into the right shoulder blade and the right paraspinal muscles. Remember to draw the navel in, let it hug the spine. Coming down. Ease, no extra effort. And then on an exhale, press into the feet. Let the tailbone lengthen. Draw the navel to the spine and curl up one vertebra at a time. And then one more time we'll come through the center. So inhaling. Exhale, chin to the chest, and roll it down. This is a little bit like the cat-cow that we often do. Arching and curling of the spine. It's kind of a cousin exercise. Take your time. Take your time. Hod is the energy of surrender. Surrender to gravity. Surrender to your breath. At the bottom, take a nice inhale, fill the torso. Exhale, press into the feet. Draw the navel to the spine, stack it up one vertebra at a time. When you get to the top, pause, eyes closed or soft eyes, soft gaze, and just notice, how is it right now? Allowing any sensation, any subtle energies to be known in the body. These are all clues, these are all helpers to us as we attune in greater and greater sensitivity to sensation. Let's come down to the floor. Lying on your back, have your block nearby. We're going to use it in a little bit. And grab your strap. We're going to lie down. Find constructive rest with the knees bent, the soles of the feet on the floor. the elbows bent and the palms on the low belly or the low ribs. Just let the spine settle. See if you can surrender the weight of this body to the mat, to the earth. The weight of the pelvis, the weight of the shoulders, the skull. Non-effort. We're going to take the right knee and hug it into the chest. So you can keep the left knee bent or you can extend the left leg long on the floor, as you prefer. Hug that right knee in, hands to the right shin or hands behind the knee, hugging the thigh in. And breathe. Let it be soft, let it be yielding. Let it be as effortless as possible. And then take your strap and place it around the right foot. Place it on the right heel. Take hold of either side of the strap and extend that right leg up towards the ceiling. So you might continue with a bent knee, or you might work towards a more straightened leg. And again, the left leg can be bent or straight, lengthened along the floor, either way. If it hurts your hands in any way, if there's arthritis or any issues with the hands, if it hurts to hold the strap, it can be nice to just give them an extra turn on the strap and let the hands rest, so you don't have to squeeze with the fingers. Let the shoulders be easy. Make sure there's no effort happening with the jaw or the neck. You just let the jaw open and close a couple times. Letting some sensation build in the back of the right leg. And then as you're ready, take both sides of that strap into the right hand. Take the left leg, the left hand, and ground it onto the left thigh. And let's inhale that right leg out to the right. So don't let that left hip come up. It's nice and grounded as the right leg comes out to the side. So you can keep the left hand to the left thigh to ground it, or take it out to the side shoulder height as a counterweight. Letting some sensation build in the inner right leg, the inner line of the leg. And then inhale, come back to center. Release the strap and point and flex the foot a couple of times. And make some circles with the foot. Open up the ankle, both directions. And then point the toes of the right foot, engage your core, and as you exhale, lengthen as if somebody's pulling on your toes. Lengthen that right leg. A little bit of heat building in the belly. As you lengthen, 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 bring the leg down towards the floor. And then shake out the legs. And pause and notice, how is it right now? What do you notice in the experience of the legs, right to left? Sensation of presence or weight or heat. And we'll take the other side, hugging that left knee into the chest. And breathing. Notice, where's your mind? See if it's just wandered away elsewhere. You can always gently bring it back. It's not a problem. It's not a malfunctioning of the mind. It's just how the mind is, what mind does. We just bring it back. This practice of noticing sensation, reminding ourselves to do less effort. And then take the strap around the left heel and extend the leg up towards the ceiling. So all week we have the opportunity to cultivate the energy of Hod, the energy of acceptance, the energy of non-effort, of less effort, and the energy of Hodaya, of gratitude. Thankful for this body, however it is showing up. And then take both sides of the strap to the left hand and take the left hand out to the left. Extend through the heel. Let some sensation build. Come back up to center as you're ready. Release the strap, little point and flex. And circles with the foot. And then point through that left leg. Inhale. And as you exhale, draw the navel to the spine as slowly, slowly, slowly you lower the leg, feeling that somebody's got hold of your big toe and is pulling it away from the body. Make length. Slowly, with lots of control. As if you're not even doing anything, it's moving so slowly. The leg is just moving of its own accord. Come down, shake the legs out. And pause. Bend both knees, soles of the feet to the floor. Let's take the right leg and cross it over the left, figure four. And then draw this structure in towards the body. So you might take the hands and thread them through and hold behind the left thigh. But if that's too much or creates stress on your neck, if the right hip is tight, it's not going to work out so well. Then you're going to take the strap and thread it behind the left thigh, and then you can hold on to the strap and bring it closer. Right? So there's always another option. Right? Every body is different, and within our own bodies we're so different from day to day and year to year. So always creating very safe space for our own body, creating ease. Again, creating a way to find repose in the pose. So you can control how much sensation you build in the outer right hip and the buttock by how much you draw the legs in toward you. And then as you're ready, release. Take the soles of the feet back to the floor, and we'll take the other side. Left ankle crossing to the right leg, and then bring it in. How is it right now? What do you notice? What do you feel? It's a little bit question answer. How is it right now? I can be with this. I can be with this. Riding this energy of Hod. As you're ready, release. We're going to grab our block. I'm going to take a low supported bridge. So just on the lowest level of the block, just the flat level here, we're going to press into the soles of the feet, lift the hips up, and place the back of the hips, the low back, the sacrum onto the block. And if this is already too high for you, then you might roll up the mat and just make a little jelly roll with the lower portion of your mat so that you have a lower ledge, but you still have a little lift for the pelvis. Can you surrender the weight of your hips to the block? Surrender. Tailbone lengthens. Spine lengthens. Nothing to do. Just be right here. Let the belly soften. Let the abdominal organs rest. Ride the energy of Hod. You can stay here a little bit longer, or if you're ready for stillness, you'll press into the feet, lift the hips, remove the block, lower the spine, vertebra by vertebra, lengthening. And come to stillness, possibly with the knees bent, possibly a traditional Shavasana with the legs extended, separated from each other, allowing the palms to turn and face up. Come to stillness. Receive the energies of your practice. As you're ready, take a deeper breath, coming back to the surface. A nice yawn stretch with the body, and take your time to come up to seated. Closing with a sense of hodaya, with gratitude, drawing again from Rabbi Miriam's teaching. This week we can focus on our capacity to accept life on its own terms, just as it is, on its own terms. We can practice graceful acquiescence. Let us seek to cultivate gratitude, hodaya, finding something to be grateful for in the blessing that is manifesting, even in the midst of this imperfect, ever-changing constellation of conditions. So we'll end as we began with a hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. Accepting, accepting this body, this being, this mind. We start right here, just as it is. When you complete your next exhale, remove your hands. Allow the eyes to open. Shavua Tov, and thank you for practicing. Once again, do check out Rabbi Sheila Peltz-Weinberg's prayer project coming up. It'll be starting May 29th. And if you have enjoyed this practice or any of the offerings from IJS, you are always welcome and invited to make a donation of any amount. It helps us sustain our teachings and our learning together. So thank you for being with us, and we'll move to Q&A. So please, if you have a question, if you can use the hand raising under reactions on your lower bar there, that's helpful. The hand raising emoji. Or if you like, you can put a question into the chat. Jody, let's see. Let's see, I can't.
Thank you. I just got it. Yeah, my sound on this computer is not good, but you said you were going to post a link, or maybe we got it in our email, that beautiful reading from Rabbi Miriam Klotz. And I was looking outside in my email and I'm not sure I got it, although I'm signed up for stuff. So can you remember to put the link in?
Of course, of course. Will, I'm wondering if you can access it. Otherwise, I'll go.
Oh, I see something just popped up. So you're the person working the technology.
There we go.
There.
Thanks, Will. Okay, so Rabbi Miriam on Hodaya, there it is in Dropbox. There's her piece for you. So you can check that out. It's really beautiful. I just read a really small piece of it, so I hope you do enjoy it. Leah.
Thanks. I have a question. Yesterday I did the video on YouTube from Hode last year. And we had legs up the wall and then did a bridge, a bridge with feet on the wall. And you said not to do it if you had osteoporosis or osteopenia. And I have a diagnosis of osteoporosis, though I don't feel it in my body, which makes it harder. But I've been told it's okay to do bridge up to a straight back, but just not to arch, particularly upper back. So I wonder if there's anything else you can say about yoga and osteoporosis and anything to be aware of?
Yeah, sure. I'm not such a specialist with osteopenia and osteoporosis, but in terms of that video, and I remember that class well because that's one of my all-time favorite sequences. When you have the feet against the wall and you push up to a bridge, it's kind of a little pressureful on your spine. So I think that, you don't want to have so much pressure when you're working with an osteoporotic condition. So that basically just speaks to that. I think you always have to follow the guidance of your own doctor or PT that you're working with. Yoga can be, of course, really great for those conditions and for working with bone density. But I think anything that's too pressureful might, we don't want to cause any hairline fractures or anything like that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And I'm quite sure if you Google, yoga for osteoporosis and that kind of thing, there are probably books on it. And I don't have anything that comes to mind in the moment, but others might, and you can put some offerings into the chat if you do know, but you can look into sequences. And if you want to write to me, we can talk offline a little, because I have this, one of my real favorite books is this. It's like a coffee table book. BKS Iyengar, Path to Holistic Health. And one thing I love about it, it's got beautiful photos of lots of series and sequences and things, but in the back, there are all these sequences outlined. So if you want, Leah, I can send you, an osteoporosis sequence. Yeah.
Thanks. In general, the endocrinologist said yoga is good.
Yeah. But, as always, you have to be careful. So, any other reflections on your practice today? Reflections on, now that we've been through Netzach and Hod, does one come more easily to you than the other? I think in our culture, we tend to be more Netzachful than Hodful, and sometimes this is a challenge to us to work in this way. Any observations you might have? Let's see. I saw Shelley. You're muted right now. I think Will is going to invite you to unmute. There we go.
Okay, thanks. So what I wanted to ask you about when we first started, and you were asking us to feel into our bodies and feel the sensations and identify them. I struggle with that kind of identification. Often I feel like I have a flutter in can you hear me? Mm-hmm. In my chest, or like clenching in my belly. I used to feel more sensations in my chest, in my head, but now I feel more things in my belly. And I'm not sure if it's a clenching, maybe it's a pressure. It's hard to describe. Do you have vocabulary for sensations in the body?
Yeah, I think that clenching in the belly, clenching in the chest are really common sensations, right? Especially, most of us have at some time or other experienced some level of anxiety, right? And anxiety in the body often appears as one or other of those sorts of clenchings. And I think, Shelley, you're really onto something, because normally, we go through our lives and we're not waking down into the body, as it were. We're not alive to the sensations. And so as we develop in our practice, we might begin to get more and more nuanced understanding and attunement to what's actually happening. And so it can be really unsettling, I think, at first. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling some kind of tightness or clenching that seems like it's going to overwhelm me, perhaps, or I didn't notice it before. And it's not that it wasn't there before, it's that we didn't notice it before. We didn't have the tools for noticing into it. So then what the experience of the yogi and the yogic practice says is, I'm going to just be with this. Our work in meditation is the same. It's impermanent. The body is in impermanent, fluctuating states all the time. This clenching, it may not be with us all the time. It's going to come and go. Can I stay with it? Can I follow it? Can I just be present to witness it lovingly, rather than having to do anything to fix it or alleviate it, right? So sometimes just breathing into whatever we're sensing, clenching in the chest, clenching in the belly, can start to open it. Sometimes it makes it worse, right? We don't want to overwhelm the nervous system, but can we stay with it? So I don't know if that exactly speaks to the question you were asking, but you could, we can sort of name the sensations, like, oh, it feels hot, it feels tight, it feels clenched. Well, where exactly? Or I feel an extra pulsation, like the aorta goes down there, right? So sometimes you feel like you really feel the blood pulsation. Like, am I feeling that? Name as much as possible into the sensations, and then just notice how they flow.
Thank you.
And that's Hod. And Hod is not so easy. Can I just be with it? Can I just be with it? Can I allow? I think it's a lot harder than Netzach, Julie.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I have an observation, and I just, which is, I am in my space here, and as soon as you started doing all this gentle Hod and accepting, I noticed that suddenly I'm getting up and rearranging things and changing things and stuff that was here for weeks that I could have taken care of and did it. And suddenly when I'm supposed to focus on doing nothing, I can't resist doing the things that I couldn't force myself to do earlier.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Super interesting, right? And super common. And then what happened when you noticed it? Oh, somehow I don't hear you.
That's because I muted myself again. Interesting. I don't know. I think I'm not sure. I'm wondering how judgmental I was and how compassionate I was.
Right. It's like, did I notice it and then just keep rearranging the stuff, or did I notice it and come back? And I'm so happy that you were vulnerable enough, Julie, to share that experience in this space, because I think that's really typical. That's really typical when we go into that, like, oh, surrendering mode, non-efforting mode. I don't know how to do that. Let me do something. Yeah. So it's just, we can normalize that. Oh, isn't that, like you said, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? I have a little resistance to Hod. Okay. Come back. It's a practice.
Yep.
It's really hard to cultivate that sort of acceptance. I can't be with that. I can't be with quiet or stillness or whatever's going on, and I have to fix it. I have to do something. But that's how we're oriented. We have one more minute, and I saw something a little bit earlier. Can you talk more about the relationship, this is from Nancy, between Netzach and Hod, specifically how doing less is a form of Netzach? So actually doing less is a form of Hod. Maybe I misspoke or it got jumbled somehow, but doing less is really Hod. And Netzach is like having persistence when you need it to move through something. Netzach is like tenacity. It's like grit, So it's the knowledge of Netzach is really important. When I have to stay with something, stay with the effort. I'm in chair pose. I'm holding a couple extra breaths. I'm in the middle of a project at work and it's driving me crazy, but I'm staying with it, to get to the end. And that is the balance of Hod, of I'm accepting what is. I'm surrendering to what is. It also has an aspect of humility, Hod, right? So, and again, Moses and Aaron. So my friends, Have a beautiful week of Hod and a couple nice more days of full moon. And I'll see you next